For centuries, mermaids have been the subject of legends, myths, and mysterious sightings across the world. But are they just stories, or is there something more beneath the waves? In this video, we will dive deep into the folklore of mermaids, uncovering their presence in myths from different cultures. You will hear about 3 documented encounters with mermaids in different parts of the world, each with its own eerie and compelling details. From the warm waters of the Caribbean to the shadowy depths of Indonesia, these encounters will make you question what truly lurks beneath the ocean's surface. And finally, if you've ever wondered how to find or encounter a mermaid yourself, we will explore some of the most intriguing theories and techniques used by those who seek these elusive beings. Whether based on ancient rituals, cryptozoological research, or first-hand accounts, these methods might just bring you closer to the mystery. So, get ready to dive into the unknown as we explore the secrets of the sea and the legend of the mermaids. Mermaids in folklore. Throughout history, tales of mermaids have captivated the imaginations of sailors, fishermen, and storytellers across the globe. These mysterious beings, often described as half-human, half-fish, have been depicted in both benevolent and malevolent roles, serving as omens, guardians, or even deadly sirens luring men to their doom. But where do these legends come from, and how have they evolved over time? The earliest recorded mermaid-like beings date back thousands of years. In ancient Mesopotamian mythology, the goddess Atargatis was depicted as a half-woman, half-fish deity, associated with fertility and water. Similarly, Greek mythology tells of the nereids, beautiful sea nymphs, and sirens, who, unlike traditional mermaids, were originally bird-like creatures before evolving into the merfolk image we recognize today. In medieval Europe, mermaids were often seen as both alluring and dangerous. Sailors feared them as harbingers of storms or shipwrecks, while others believed they granted blessings if treated with respect. The most famous literary mermaid, Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, transformed the sea maiden from a supernatural being into a tragic romantic figure, later popularized by modern retellings. Japan's equivalent of the mermaid, the ninjyo, is a far cry from the Western image of beautiful sea maidens. Described as having the face of a human but the body of a fish, the ninjyo was believed to bring either misfortune or great blessings. Legend has it that consuming the flesh of a ninjyo grants eternal youth, a tale immortalized in the story of Yao Bikuni, a woman who lived for centuries after eating one. Across Africa and the Caribbean, water spirits such as Mami Wata and La Sirene are powerful and enigmatic figures. Mami Wata, revered in many West African traditions, is often depicted as a mermaid-like goddess who grants wealth and protection but also demands devotion. Similarly, La Sirene of Haitian Vodou is known for her enchanting voice and ability to bestow magical gifts upon those who earn her favor. Even in the modern world, stories of mermaid sightings persist. Fishermen in parts of South America and Indonesia claim to have glimpsed humanoid figures in the water, while cryptozoologists continue to speculate whether ancient myths could be based on real, undiscovered marine creatures. Whether viewed as myth, legend, or mystery, the mermaid continues to inspire wonder and curiosity in cultures worldwide. So, are mermaids real, or are they simply reflections of our fascination with the unknown depths of the sea? One thing is certain, their legend is as deep and enduring as the ocean itself. Just below the surface. This first tale is drawn from the rich oral traditions of the early Roman Empire, recorded in works such as Pliny the Elder's Naturalis Historia from around year 77. According to his work, mysterious beings were seen by eyewitnesses, creatures that the natives called nereids or sea nymphs. Their graceful appearance, featuring a human-like upper body combined with a shimmering, fish-like tail, strikingly resembles what we today refer to as mermaid. The following narrative reimagines one such account, inviting you to journey back to a time when myth and reality intertwined on the tranquil shores of an ancient world. At daybreak along the warm, shallow waters near a cluster of small islands off Africa's coast, I set out in my fishing boat. The early light painted the sea in hues of amber and gold, and the gentle waves carried a soothing rhythm that calmed my spirit as I navigated slowly through the crystalline bay. I was accustomed to the daily miracles of nature in these waters, yet nothing had prepared me for what I was about to witness. As I sat quietly, lost in the hypnotic sway of the sea, something extraordinary stirred beneath the surface. I stepped closer to the edge of the boat, my hands gripping the railing. As I peered over the side, uncertainty washed over me. I struggled to find the words to describe what I was seeing. At first, I thought it was merely a playful ripple, a trick of the shifting light, but soon a graceful form emerged. There, just below the water's surface, was a figure moving with an elegance that rivaled the ocean's own rhythm. From the waist upward, she was unmistakably human, with soft, luminous skin and eyes deep and reflective as the endless sea. Her long, flowing hair cascaded around her shoulders, catching the light and turning it into strands of silver and gold. But what truly captivated me was her lower half. Instead of legs, she possessed a magnificent fish tail, its iridescent scales flashing vibrant colors with every subtle movement. It was as if she were born of the sea itself, a living embodiment of its mystery and allure. In perfect synchrony with the gentle, undulating waves, she swam gracefully, her every movement echoing the natural pulse of the water. For a long, timeless moment, she danced alongside my boat, her silhouette a beautiful merging of human charm and marine grace. I recalled the countless whispered legends of local fishermen and travelers who spoke of mysterious sea dwellers, creatures who appeared on warm mornings to offer a glimpse of a world beyond the mundane. Yet, until now, I had considered these tales mere fables, exaggerated accounts of everyday wonders. Seeing her so clearly, gliding effortlessly beneath the surface, filled me with both awe and a profound sense of connection to the ancient, enchanted lore of these coasts. My heart pounded as I leaned over the edge of the boat, trying to capture every detail in my memory. The sea around me seemed to pause in reverence as the mysterious sea nymph continued her silent ballet, her presence both calming and exhilarating. I marveled at the harmonious blend of light, water, and life, feeling as if I had been granted a secret glimpse into a realm where myth and nature coexisted in perfect balance. After what felt like an eternity yet lasted only a few precious minutes, she slowly turned her gaze toward the deep, and with one final, mesmerizing flourish of her tail, she disappeared beneath the shimmering surface. The wake she left behind rippled gently outward, as if bidding farewell to a transient visitor from another world. I remained motionless in my boat long after her departure, the morning sun rising higher as if in celebration of the mystery I had witnessed. I knew that this encounter would live on not only in my memory but also in the whispered legends passed from one generation to the next. In those quiet, magical moments, the boundary between myth and reality had blurred, leaving me forever changed by the enchanting secret of the sea. The sightings of the Orang Ikan. During World War II, in 1943, several Japanese soldiers stationed on the remote K Islands in Indonesia reported strange encounters with mysterious sea creatures. Described as part human, part fish beings, these so-called Orang Ikan were said to inhabit the waters surrounding the islands. These reports have persisted as part of local folklore, hinting at the possibility of undiscovered marine beings dwelling in the region's depth. The waves lapped gently against the wooden pier as Sergeant Taro Hariba took a deep breath of the humid, salty air. The war had dragged on, and his unit had been stationed on the remote K Islands for months. Supplies were low, morale was even lower, and the dense jungle surrounding the small outpost made every night feel suffocating. It was one of those nights when Private Nakamura came running back to camp, his face pale and his breath short. "Sergeant, there's something in the water," he gasped, pointing toward the lagoon. Hariba and a few other soldiers grabbed their rifles and followed Nakamura down to the shoreline. The moon cast a pale glow over the water, illuminating strange ripples. At first, Hariba thought it was just another dolphin or a large fish, but then he saw it, a figure, half submerged, watching them. The creature had a humanoid face, its wide-set eyes glistening with an unnatural intelligence. Its skin was a sickly shade of pink, almost translucent under the moonlight. Webbed hands briefly emerged from the surface before being dipped beneath the waves, vanishing into the depths. The soldiers stood frozen, their minds struggling to process what they had just seen. Then the silence was broken by the village chief, an elderly man named Ombo, who had been watching from a distance. He shook his head solemnly. "Orang Ikan," he murmured. "They have lived in these waters for generations. You must not disturb them." Hariba felt a shiver run down his spine. He had heard the local legends but dismissed them as superstitions. Now, faced with the reality of the unknown, he wasn't sure what to believe. Over the following weeks, more sightings were reported. Some soldiers claimed to have seen small schools of Orang Ikan near the shallows, their webbed hands reaching for fish in the net. Others spoke in hushed voices about an eerie wailing that echoed across the bay at night. One evening, a patrol discovered a body washed up on the shore. It was no fish, nor was it fully human. The corpse was small, no taller than a child, with limbs and face like a human. But it had some kind of gills lining its neck and a mouth resembling that of a carp. The sight disturbed the men deeply, and Hariba ordered the remains to be buried at sea, fearing the local legends that warned of a curse upon those who failed to show respect to the merfolk. After that, the Orang Ikan were never seen again. Some believed they had moved to deeper waters, while others whispered that they had cursed the soldiers for disturbing their dead. Years later, after the war ended, Hariba attempted to share his experiences with marine biologists and researchers. He was met with skepticism and dismissal. The world was not ready to accept the presence of something so otherworldly. But deep in his heart, he knew what he had seen, and he would never forget the gaze of the Orang Ikan watching from the dark waters. Diving with mermaids. The following story is based on an account documented in Weekly World News and published on the website of Jack's Diving Locker, a renowned dive school in Hawaii. In 1998, an astonishing encounter unfolded off the coast of Kona, where a group of divers witnessed something that would defy belief. Whether fact or fiction, this tale remains one of the most intriguing modern reports of a mermaid sighting. It was April 12, 1998, a bright and cloudless day on the waters off Hawaii's Big Island. The ocean stretched endlessly in all directions, a vast expanse of shimmering blue. Jeff Lacher, an experienced dive master, was leading a group of 6 divers on a routine expedition. The boat cut through the gentle waves, leaving a foamy wake behind as they ventured to a familiar diving site about 20 minutes from the Kona coast. As they neared their destination, a pod of dolphins appeared alongside them, playful and energetic. The crew and divers marveled at the sight, watching the sleek creatures leap and twist effortlessly through the wave. Then, amidst the dolphins, a crew member spotted something unusual near the bow of the boat. "There's someone in the water," came the startled voice. Lacher and the others turned their gaze to where the crew member was pointing. At first, it appeared to be a human figure, a nude woman swimming gracefully among the dolphins. Her long, dark hair trailed behind her, catching the sunlight as she cut through the water. Her movements were fluid, almost otherworldly. Then she breached the surface, soaring into the air with the elegance of a sea creature. The group gasped. Where legs should have been, they saw shimmering scales and a powerful fishtail. The figure landed back into the waves with a splash, vanishing beneath the surface. A hush fell over the boat. Had they really seen what they thought they had? Was this an illusion of light and water, or something far more extraordinary? Determined to find answers, Lacher and his team continued with their dive. As they explored the vibrant coral formations below, Lacher suddenly felt something brush against his leg. He turned quickly, his heart pounding. There she was. Only a few meters away, the mysterious being hovered in the water, her wide, intelligent eyes locked onto his. She appeared both curious and cautious, studying the divers with an almost human awareness. Her skin had a soft luminescence, reflecting the shifting light of the ocean depths. Her tail, long and sleek, moved with an effortless rhythm, keeping her suspended in place. Lacher reached instinctively for his underwater camera, his fingers fumbling against the controls. As he raised the lens, she darted away with an astonishing burst of speed, vanishing into the vast blue. He snapped a few shots, hoping that at least one had captured the impossible. Back on the boat, the divers and crew were in a stunned silence. Had they all just shared a hallucination? Lacher developed the photos, and to his astonishment, the images showed what they had seen: a creature that seemed to be part human, part fish. The photographs were later analyzed by experts, and while some dismissed them as illusions or tricks of the light, others were not so sure. Multiple independent photography labs reviewed the images and found no evidence of tampering. Could this be the long-rumored Kiwi Point mermaid, a legend whispered among local fishermen and divers for decades? To this day, Lacher stands by his experience, though he acknowledges that the world may never fully accept it. He feels lucky to have witnessed this beautiful creature and know now that the legends were true. For those who venture into the deep blue waters of Hawaii, one question lingers: what else might be swimming just beyond the edge of human understanding? How to find or encounter mermaids. The idea of encountering a mermaid has fascinated sailors, explorers, and storytellers alike. But if these legendary beings exist, how could one possibly find them? Folklore, cryptozoological theories, and modern sightings suggest that there may be ways to increase the chances of an encounter. Here's how. Travel to locations with frequent sightings. Many mermaid sightings, like the encounters mentioned, have occurred in specific regions, often rich in folklore and history. Some of the most notable locations include warm, remote waters close to islands. Exploring these regions, whether by diving, sailing, or investigating local myths, might lead to an extraordinary discovery. Some believe that mermaids dwell in deep oceanic caves, underwater tunnels, or hidden lagoons. Cryptozoologists suggest that sonar mapping and deep-sea exploration could uncover evidence of unknown aquatic species. Exploring coral reefs, uncharted islands, or deep-sea trenches might bring one closer to an encounter. Use traditional rituals and folkloric method. According to various cultural traditions, mermaids can be attracted through specific actions. Caribbean and African myths suggest that mermaids respond to beautiful melodies from music and singing. Offering gifts like jewelry, pearls, or perfumes are said to lure mermaids according to Haitian voodoo and African traditions. These methods are rooted in folklore, but many local communities still believe in their effectiveness. Some of the most compelling mermaid stories do not come from scientists, but from those who have spent their lives at sea. Fishermen, divers, and coastal elders often pass down stories of mysterious beings glimpsed in the depth. Listening to these oral traditions and investigating their patterns could help pinpoint potential mermaid hotspots. While mainstream science has yet to confirm the existence of mermaids, the ocean remains vastly unexplored. With modern technology, deep-sea exploration, and ongoing discoveries of new species, The possibility of encountering something truly extraordinary cannot be ruled out. Whether legend or reality, the search for mermaids continues to captivate the human imagination. Who knows what secrets the depths of the ocean may still hold?